And let's start it off right with PK versus Elevate. It's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a lot closer than people are thinking. And again, I mentioned those two MVP caliber players. You have Shock, week 1 MVP. You got Monkyz, week 2 MVP just last week. Let's go and pull up that head-to-head and look at these guys a little bit closer, because these are going to be the most impressive players. Now, if you look at this, there really isn't a lot to compare. I mean, other than the fact that Monkyz is just dominating, right? I mean, he has a 3.46 KDA to the 2.26 of Shock. 81 plus or minus. What that means, he has 81 more kills than he does deaths. That is incredibly impressive. But Shock, you may be looking at a -2, but that's not a bad stat line. I've looked at other head-to-head graphics where people or players are at like a -36. But look at the percentages of team kills, though. That's the biggest standout for me outside of the engagement success plays.
Yeah, man, that, when it comes down to it, this Monkyz is just dominating Shock in these stats, each and every single category. Now, if Demise and Detox was not performing how they were over these last few weeks, it'd be a lot more alarming to me, only because I know how much of a main slayer Shock is for most of the teams he's played for in the past. But as far as this goes, man, it's looking like our week 2 player of the week and Monkyz is beating our week 1 player in Shocks. And it's just, it's as simple as that, man. Monkyz has been performing. He does it every single week. He was our top performer from the first pro league that we kicked off the season with. And you know what? I expect nothing less. Honestly, maybe all 3 seasons of the pro league so far, Monkyz has either been 1 or 2. And that just shows his consistency as a player.
And that's huge. Consistency is massive. It's one thing to pop off one week and then be so-so the next week. Monkyz continues to be impressive week in and week out, and that's going to carry Pittsburgh Knights quite far. But they do have their hands full against Elevate tonight. A little bit more on that in a second. Let's look at our maps that we're rolling with. Is Vascar going to be in there? So we have Training Grounds to start off with. Pittsburgh Knights, they pick it. It makes sense. They're very comfortable on TG. They play it very well. That should give them a leg up and hopefully give them a 1-0 lead heading into Asylum, which Elevate is great on. So it makes sense they ended up going with that. Now, Harbor to finish us off. Pretty neck and neck, can't lie, between PK and Elevate. If we get to a map 3, which is looking likely given the first 2 maps plays, this could be a pretty close series.
It definitely could be a close series. Asylum is super important for Elevate to pull away with. That being, I think, their best map, to be honest, is really crucial for them. Training Grounds can go either way, but I'm going to put that one in favor of PK. I think they'll be the better Training Grounds team. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. We got a nice little map cycle here to kind of showcase the best of both these 2 squads.
Oh, 100%. This is a fantastic map selection. You have the best map for PK, the best map for Elevate, and then you kind of got one that's in the middle ground to finish us off with a tiebreaker. It really will be a battle, right? It will be a battle of attrition. Let's go and talk about our predictions, though. We talked about it. We're going to make things interesting, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase, right? I'm going with Elevate, guys, and I have very good reason reason as to why I am, okay? Elevate has been a very consistent team. Pittsburgh Knights started off a bit so-so, and I pointed that out, right, whenever Monkyz ended up getting that MVP caliber or that MVP position. I said, man, he really dictated the fights. He changed the pacing of Pittsburgh Knights. But I do want to kind of bring it down a notch, all right? Pittsburgh Knights, they bettered their record last week. Monkyz MVP, incredible KDA, but let's look at who they played. They played against Oxygen Esports, okay? Take nothing away from them. They're not at the level of Pittsburgh Knights without question. So that victory, it doesn't really mean a crazy amount to me. It's not like going and beating E United. It's not like, going out and beating a Hive or Fire and Ice, all right? Their other matchup that they played against, they ended up going Oxygen Esports, and then I think the day before that they played against Noble and they beat them 2-0. Now that is impressive without question, but Noble just absolutely looked terrible that series. They just look bad.
Yeah, and to just kind of double down on that a little bit, there are 2 big matchups that they played was Noble and VQ. They lost to VQ, and it was a 2-1 series.
Correct.
But outside of that, man, it's been Rated R, Team Queso, Oxygen Esports as the matches in which they played. Now, those other 3 teams are at the bottom of our list.
Yes.
And, Pittsburgh Knights, their schedule is just going to get harder as the Pro League progresses. So I definitely can understand what you're saying about some of the woes in which they had starting off. And we'll see how they progress on. But, Taylor, I'm doubling down with you. Elevate, man. I'm picking Elevate as well. I loved what I seen out of them out of the Control E day. Now, granted, it's a different game mode, but from the dominance in which they had on the Control E day that we casted, it just showed that this team is coming together for them to work as well as they did 3-0 and everybody. Also, their start in the Pro League, they were looking strong. And, we've been doing nothing but just highlight and elevate, man. They're 3-1. They're at the top of the leaderboard. And I think that they can kind of stay in this position. And if they take this series against the Knights, that sets a big example in the league.
All right, chat, where are you at real quick as we load into the map? I think you're going with PK. Come on. It just only makes, there you go. PK. You know they're going with Pittsburgh Knights. This is our time to take that lead. Now, just as a side note, something you guys don't know, but we know internally, I believe Jacob and Colin both went with Pittsburgh Knights. So they're doubling down on them as well. They're with you, chat. So we have a chance to take a lead against all of them tonight.
All three of you guys. All right, Taylor, let's do it.
And you know what? I think it's absolutely a possibility. Again, Elevate, you look at their stats, they're not as impressive as Pittsburgh Knights, but you look at the victories that they have been able to get over some dominant teams. That's what impresses me, I think the most, right, overall. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh Knights, great KDA, but again, Team Queso, Rated R, Oxygen Esports, again, like you mentioned, they're at the bottom of the standings. So are the numbers inflated for Pittsburgh Knights? We'll definitely find out. Look, we can sit here and try to be as smart as we want, right? But at the end of the day, the better team is going to win, and who wants it more is going to take it. So let's get right into it, brother. It is time to start our first series of the day.
All right, folks, here we go. PK versus Elevate. Taylor, we're about to see if we're making some big brain caster predictions during this series or not. Or we'll be kicking it at the bottom together, me and you, with my duo. But here we go. Now, as you see, both squads are gonna avoid each other at the fight at U. You're gonna see Elevate focusing more of their attention down low at B. And Pittsburgh Knight, they did a great job shifting towards that lower lane, and now we see them picking up these kills, and they'll be able to lock in this 2-1 hill advantage. On the flip end of the map, though, Demise, he's trying to make something happen for his team, keeping them alive, seeing if he could take out those players, top overlook, but he's going to get slayed out there. And now you see Shift Cap domination coming in for PK.
Here we go. Pittsburgh Knights looking pretty solid. I can't lie. And Detox going to be the last one. He's going to get hit with the brick. Tries to take down one, but Monkyz going to get the cleanup and the pickup. Demise is just dancing around, but he's the last one, man. It's going to be over with. PK is going to take a very quick round number 1. And, that's just how the chips fell, man. Like I said, you can try to be as smart as you want, but at the end of the day, the better team's going to win. Hey, that's one round, though. What am I talking about? Let me not get too carried away. Elevate. We got to step it up, though. Only one kill, and that's Demise.
Yeah, so Elevate, they chose to lock themselves in that power position at B. They got a player towards God spot. They had a player at that lower alleyway as well, where both of the secondary spawn. And, they went to go make a play on the B hill, but you saw PK, once they got that first initial down, pretty much all the pieces started to crumble there for Elevate on that initial. So let's see if they're going to run a similar strategy as we head here into round number 2. But with the torque bow being placed down, Elevate has already let it be known to us and PK that they're ready to fight.
All right, here we go. Second initial torque bow. PK is going to be down low, prioritizing that torque bow a little bit more while Demise wants to go to U, and he is going to be challenged. Oh, no, bit of a miss throw. Raver forced to dip out. He can't go up top. He didn't get the stun off. Like you said, Shock is, in fact, going to be being sneaky, right? Coming on that flank, the MVP of week number 1 versus Raver. And he's just going to dance around, try to waste as much time as possible. He will drop, but I'm hoping Elevate gets value from this, but it seems as if it is going to be a 3v2. They have numbers, but they have to make this work. That torque bow is so valuable.
Shock is so upset right now. I can feel the tension all the way from here. Big plays being made, but Elevate cannot clean it up. And the reason why I say Shock is probably so upset because he had 2 players distracted, and his teammates did not make a move until he died. They have to be able to see him fighting for his life on the other side of the map and get some value from that in that moment. But they were a few seconds too late, and PK was able to get all 4 members back into action at the fight at U, and they had their main advantage. What a shot, Dezo.
Yeah, Dezo connecting, PK, I think overall, team-wise, they are looking solid. And they're really showing that maybe the competition, earlier in the previous weeks, it doesn't necessarily define them. They're better than what they think. And one of the factors coming into my predictions that I was a little bit worried about, because I know I went with Elevate, but PK, look, Tom can tell you, our spectator, man, I was on the fence, and it was a tough decision for me to make, because PK, even though they beat 3 lesser teams on the bottom of the standings, Blaze, that gives PK the confidence. You're top 4 out of the top 5 in KDA. PK is a momentum-based team, and they feel on top of the world at this point, and it's going to be hard to take them down.
Nah, it's going to be very hard to take them down, especially the way that they've played these opening 2 rounds of training grounds. You can see how disciplined they are and how composed as well. Now, Elevate, great break there of PK setup. Now Tidy's taking a lot of damage here. His teammate Demise able to distract Monkyz here back you, and that's going to be a big kill for them. They'll be able to take control over this side of the map in their D, Cap, and B. But folks, as you look at the score, man, PK, they're sitting in a winning position, and it's going to take Elevate to decap their home hill if they want a chance at winning this round.
All right, here we go. Looks like it's getting a little bit more competitive. Like you mentioned, though, Elevate still far behind. They've got to get the break on A, and they've got to do it pretty soon, while also simultaneously not allowing PK to remove any of the Elevate members. This is their final push, and it's going to be hard, but it might be a start, but they got to get through Monkyz, who's been so very consistent. He's 6-3, 1 death, but he will fall, so that's going to be the man you want to take down. Now the Vice grip is starting to tighten up. Shock is also going to pick up Monkyz. Raver is gone. Sumuns is also gone. Tidy now has to pick up Dezo, and the trade will be there. The break is in, and Elevate is going to take this round.
What a clean play, a clean sequence of plays there from Elevate to lock this round in, because Taylor, man, from the beginning of this one, it was looking all PK. Elevate, they had a bad initial. PK gets the power weapon, they get map control. But from there, Elevate took their time. They formulated a play. They was able to break the setup at Overlook, push up towards that halfway point of the map, and set themselves up for the next push. And so I just loved how they used every second on the clock in which they can utilize in that round to make 2 great pushes to take out PK.
Even so, it still wasn't easy for them, right? And you can't base the fact that, or you can't just weigh on the fact, look, we're going to make a last-second comeback, right? The old optic special. It happens every once in a while. It's flashy, it's dashy, it works, but you have to be consistent. And these initials have absolutely been going to the way of Pittsburgh Knights. So Elevate's going to have to find a way to battle against the consistent PK off these initials. If they can do that, they'll stand a better chance at taking these rounds a little bit more consistently. But we're going to have a bit of a standoff. PK is going to take you this time, where Elevate is going to take down low, and now it's just going to come down to get that additional chip damage and who really wants to commit. But you got these players down low, and that's going to be Shock and Raver, and this could be the battle that determines who pushes up first.
Off the start, Elevate was going to play it very aggressive, but somebody got the early intel that PK was playing passive, and Shock and Tidy made a great move backing up and not walking into that trap that PK had set for him. So now in the stalemate, folks, we're here in a tight game, and I'm asking myself, which lane is going to get open first? Because only 2 are currently being fought in, and it's looking like Raver's going to get a powerful angle here as he's going to get up the stairs towards B, and Shock knows that he cannot waste no time mid-map. He needs to take the man advantage for his team as they can get it. As Raver's flanking, Shock and his teammate need to push up here as soon as possible. Torquebull is going to get acquired by Detox, but you see Elevate, they're pinched. They're in a difficult spot. Tidy going down. Raver's trying to make some plays at the underpass. Can you hit a bow? He cannot, but Shock and Tidy, they're going big.
And that was messy, I'm not going to lie, but it looks as if Elevate is starting to come into their own. Raver now is going to be in a difficult spot. He's got 2 players in front of him, and Elevate's wanting to push him out. Demise is going to cut over to B, and Raver has an opportunity to maybe open up a path to B himself, but that player from Elevate, Tidy, is going to go in and back off. Trip. Oh my gosh, Mr. Krabs coming in, and Mr. Krabs is going to work out! What?
What a rotation there out of Elevate, Taylor. Oh, man. And it's just, as we get towards the later portions of these rounds, they're making some big brain plays here, okay? It shows that they may be the composed squad here after 3 rounds of map number 1 between the 2. But you saw there off the initial, we were at a standstill. Raver got a nice little angle there on those lower stairs for Shock to have to go back to his teammates. Now, from there, I thought PK was going to come out victorious in his battle, because Raver has angles, PK has Overlook, Lancers are out. but Raver did not get enough help there towards the lower stairs. And then when Sumuns tried to come through, Tidy picks up a kill. First blood elevate, and then we saw the big brain plays that they made for the Mr. Krabs at the end.
When I was talking to our observer, Darth Meerkat, before we went live, you know, one of his biggest concerns, actually, that he wisely pointed out was the fact that Pittsburgh Knights, one of the things that they do, or that they specifically did when they played against Rise earlier, was the fact that they slowed down and they play the game that they're not accustomed to. And that game is the fact, you know, they don't like to play slow, okay? They can, but they're an aggressive team. Right now, pushing up as they're doing, that makes them hard to deal with. That is their best chance of winning. I say that 3 do drop off, but I want to see PK continue with that aggression. Their slaying power is what got them to this point with that 4-1 record, and that's what is going to carry them even further versus Elevate. But Shock, he's just going to overlook Monkyz. Let him bleed out. The Torque Bow is going to be in the hands of Detox, and B is still going to be fought for, but it looks like Elevate should be able to get it.
Yeah, all right. So Elevate, they're currently capping in B Hill right now. Detox, power weapon in hand. He's in the best position of the map to put this weapon to its best utilization. Now, you see PK, they're set up 2 players over at their home hill at A, 2 players on the other side of the map at B. Whoa, what a stick there from Detox. He's going to rev up. He sees where Raver is. Going to try to get some splash damage off of this bow, but still has 2 more to use. We see Elevate's not doing much with the numbers in which they had. I would have loved to see the players at B maybe push up a little bit down low after that kill came through, but Elevate, man, they didn't get to this 1-round lead without showing that composure, as we spoke about before, and they're not playing for too much. They're not forcing it. They're gonna wait for PK to come to them.
This Torque is going to be important. It's going to even up the numbers to a 3v2. I say that player 2 will fall off the map. It's going to be Shock, so now Detox is going to be in a tough spot. Misroll, he's gone, and PK opens up the door wide to go for the OE. And now how does Elevate react to this? Well, it seems like they're going to go ahead and send Demise over towards A. Player 9 is going to spot this. Actually, he's going to be lanced out from 2 individuals. Smoke is going to be thrown, and he is going to make it to the hill, and he does get there. So well done from Demise, getting that break, keeping it more competitive. At this point, that 2-to-1 hill advantage is going to be massive. Even if he loses it just after he captures it, it's going to force PK back, and Elevate's going to be able to readjust their numbers. But a big 1v1 on Charlie between 3 and 8. We'll see if Detox wins that or if our man Monkyz is going to take it.
You know what? I think that was a big capture there for Demise at the end. It was a big break, even bigger capture, forcing PK to have to spend some time on that side of the map. And we see it's the COG team with the lead, and that's a double down. That is going to be detrimental here towards Elevate, and Demise has to make some big plays. If Tidy and Shock stays alive there, it's looking like a guaranteed round for Elevate, but now it's getting scary for him.
Yeah, Monkyz won that 1v1. That was absolutely massive. Detox needed to take him down and keep that hill to his advantage. Monkyz a bit of a missed torque, but Swarm is in fact still in the lead. They're going to win very shortly. And as you mentioned, B Hill now is going to be fought for, but Monkyz has to torque. Shock, get out of there. No, he gets tagged up from it. And that was a great connection for Monkyz. And the decap doesn't come into play. Well, Detox will be there, but I think, is it a little bit too late though?
No, I think they're good.
Oh my gosh, they're going to take
Elevate
this.
got it.
No way. They shouldn't have won
from
that.
Detox. And so it was a beautiful play because look at it like this. You saw Detox. He had the presence of mind to know that Monkyz was on overlook with the Torque Bow revving down. So he jukes him. Yeah, Monkyz, he still makes the play on the other end at the B Hill. But Detox, when he cut back at the underpass, he never went back to B from that point on. He just said, you know what? I'm going for your home hill, and we'll find a play over there on the flip end. I think Demise won a 1v1 on Elevate's home hill, and that was the win condition in a late round. And so good job to Detox for making that alternate route to go for the home hill. And PK, man, they just didn't defend it.
Man, Monkyz played that so well to win the home hill. Like, that is disappointing. PK lets that round go. Maybe second half is going to be more beneficial for them. I do notice Elevate isn't going to be sending 4 strong. They've got player 2 going for the OE already. That's going to make this fight for E that much more important. And if Elevate can get away with this, despite them not having the numbers, they could end up huge. Great Shock, though, is going to take down 1. Raver should be able to pick up that torque or whoever they give it to. And I mentioned player number 2, right? He's managed to rotate all the way over, but now he's going to be isolated by himself. Player 6 on PK Dezo is going to be able to get the home hill of Elevate. Let's see if Shock can stay here for as long as he can. It's going to be tough. He's getting pressured by Monkyz and another one just up ahead. It's going to be Raver.
Oh, Shock loves these fights, Taylor. And that was a big down from him. It took 3 players to double back and flank him. But what he needs is for his teammates to get back into position, at least get the home hill or set themselves up for the neutral. They wasn't able to come off respawn in time to be able to put themselves back to contest the neutral, and then also PK hitting some big torque bows to keep them at bay. So we'll see how Elevate wants to break this setup. PK has about 2 torque bows left to utilize, and they will be able to clean up this kill on Detox, so that's going to be big for them.
All right, so Elevate is going to be down. PK in a very good position. They're spread across the map in a way where they can collapse on these 2 players with that torque bow too, right? That's going to help get that splat. Actually, matter of fact, just take down Shock altogether. And I'm surprised Pittsburgh Knights didn't push up as hard as I was expecting them to. I guess it was because player 6 ended up falling off. So now Elevate, they're going to take this time to go for the OE, avoid the torque bow from Sumuns, and just try to take that 2-to-1 hill advantage once again. So they're going to be living inside PK spawn, pushing Raver and Co back. But I'm curious what 7 and 9 do. Do they stay on E or do they push out themselves?
7 and, whew, man, they're going to have to stay on E for now, have faith in their teammates to win these fights. And so far, Pittsburgh Knights, they are winning the big fights that they need to. And with that kill getting acquired, that's 4 down on the side of Elevate. They have their home hill for now, but it's looking like PK is going to end this round. I don't see Elevate winning this. If they find some way to decap all 3 of these hills in round number 4, I'll be highly impressed. But as we see, it's not going to happen. PK gets their 2nd round on the board. And so from the beginning of that round, we saw Elevate, they sent Shock down low to the home hill. And I think a big portion of that was because they knew that, you know what, we'll take our right-hand advantage. We'll play it aggressively on a torque bow, see if we can possibly get a first blood on that side of the map and kind of contest. You know, hey, if you win the fight, it's a toss-up. It's an easy trip cap domination because Shock's already towards the home hill. But it couldn't come out on top. We'll see if Elevate throws another curveball like they did before. But so far, man, every single round, they've pretty much been changing up their initials while PK has been running forward towards Overlook, except this round.
Look at PK. So they're going to send player 8, Raver, down low onto the flank. He has been spotted, but Elevate's very aware of this, so they're going to keep 2 players back. Meanwhile, though, Tidy will fall. Demise needs to get these cleanups up top. He's going to manage to take down 1. That's big. Now, Monkyz is going to pressure up. Dezo's going to push back. And Dezo's going to get, snubbed out. But Demise comes onto the flank, and he's going to manage to take down Dezo. Great communication. Now you have Raver and Monkyz, who's going to be up ahead. The battle for E still well underway. Player 8 was trying to go for that flank. He is not fully, or I think he already pushed through, and he's now going to be up top onto you. Detox is going to fall. And now Demise is going to be in a tough spot. Luckily, he's going to be joined by one of his teammates. He's going to hit a beautiful shot onto 1. Tidy's going to fall as well. Shock now is going to be going onto you, but it looks like PK is going to win this fight.
That's what it's looking like, but great effort there for Demise there in the beginning of that round, because he did such a great job staying alive as long as he did and working with Detox to pretty much force 2 initials at E. But the teammates coming off respawn to Elevate, not able to defend a home hill, not able to get back to the E hill fast enough, and it's looking like PK is going to get this one all tied up 3-3.
Second half looking a lot better. They've won the last 2 rounds since we transferred over to that E hill. And that torque bow has been going to them every single time. That means Elevate, they've got a glaring issue, right? They have to figure out how to win this fight on Overlook. Now, if that means placing something down on range, you know, where the old hill old neutral used to be, so be it. Of course, you don't want to fall behind, but you do have those shocks. That's going to be great off the start. And I think your main objective has to be locking in that torque bow, or at least splitting up the fight in general, which, to be fair, they've been doing a good job on the OEs. They've been winning their fights consistently, so it's not like they're that far behind, but they're going to be behind at least an ensign. They will have the retro, but I'd rather have that ensign overall. This initial is going to make or break Elevate, in my opinion. They need to win this round. They lose it. PK's got the momentum like they already have. They're going to take this map, so this is a must-win round for Elevate, in my opinion.
When Elevate has taken this slow, they have came out successful. So they're not trying to get engaged with PK right off the bat, trying to play off PK's aggressiveness, but we even see PK starting to slow this map down just a bit so they can get back in it. Raver's currently on the flank. Shock has 2 teammates down behind him with a flash on the ground. He's going to try to make something happen, but can't do it. And PK, off a patient initial, they find the right advantages, the right opportunities to lock in his E hill. and put their team in a position to close out this round.
And, Elevate's going to get a couple of touches, maybe. Detox, he's going to just have to sacrifice his life. Flash was well placed, though. Detox actually gets picked back up, and an opportunity for Elevate to stay in here is there. Dezo, he's going to pick up one. Demise now forced back. Torquebow is raining down hell. See it exploding, but Tidy gets to break. Monkyz will fall. Torquebows are being dodged. Dezo gets to pick up, and Demise still there. Tidy will fall. And Elevate is staying alive. They're going to come out of this either, struggling or down several points. But if they can stay alive, they're still very much so in it. But I don't know. That pressure from PK is very real. 3 fall once again. Tidy's last up. Flames are going to be blocking steps. Tidy gets ran through. And PK is going to be right back in the driver's seat once again, getting the breaks. And Demise, again, he's going to have to sacrifice him. He won't even get there. Another round for PK, Blaze.
Yeah, another round. That's 3 in a row for him. So far, man, they've been playing great. Demise and his teammates, they did a good job keeping that hill, the home hill, as contested as long as they did, but they just couldn't pull it away. Those final 2 kills on the top of the stairs, plus the player from PK lancering over from Overlook was just too much at the end. Now, PK is going to choose to use the block first so that Elevate does not have that advantage in this round. To get this one all tied up. I like the move. Let's see if anything is going to change here on the initial, Taylor.
And I'll be honest with you, I've only seen the shocks have value once. Other than that, it really hasn't played a big impact in how this initial has been going. PK's just been doing a great job at pacing it out. Elevate, though, knowing the shocks are in, they're going to go full force into this fight. Bit of utility is going to be thrown out. Raver's going to get a big down on Detox, but it looks like Elevate is answering back. Demise is going to get the pickup on one, though. From the flank, it's going to be another, and that's going to be Dezo going huge, picking up a couple of players from Elevate. Shock now is going to try and go for this 2v2 alongside his teammate of Demise. Monkyz and Dezo, if they can stay up here, the Torquebow is absolutely going to be theirs, and the job just got even harder because 7 and 8, they're coming off the respawn. Get the Torquebow, pick it up, but they can't again. Those members from PK are right back in it.
Man, Shock tried to stay alive there, but good job to him and Detox for winning that 2v2. Now, Detox, he should have more teammates coming back to the party. Yeah, and so by him staying alive there, he ended up turning that 2v1 against them into a 3v2 against PK. So good job to him. Torquebow is going to get acquired, and Elevate is going to be sitting pretty with 2 hills to their name in the Torquebow.
Just an update on that side station matchup between Noble and Team Queso. Noble ends up taking map number 1, Training Grounds 5-1. Team Queso trails 1 map behind. It looks like Noble is doing a good job facing off against those Queso boys. If you were interested to know, there are many supporters out there for Team Queso, want to see them do well. Back on track, though, with this matchup between PK and Elevate. Dezo is deep in the spawn of Elevate. He wants to take down Shock. Flash is going to be thrown out. This is just going to be who hits that next one, and it's going to be Dezo. Shock's going to be left to bleed out, and the break for PK is going to be there onto the home hill of Elevate. And, PK is putting Elevate in a very scary position. Tidy understands this. He's got to get as many members of PK out of the home hill as they possibly can. And at least a decap is there. So Elevate's going to continue with that lead. It's not like PK has a 2-1.
Yeah, the only reason why Dezo even dies there is because he realized that Shot got down in his opponent's spawn and that he can easily get revived in just a few seconds. But Tidy coming off respawn, man, he got a big kill. He's been contesting for this home hill, but he's going to lose the fight. Shock has came back off of respawn to try to help him. But most importantly, he needs a decap at F at minimum, even if he can't win the fight, but the decap won't come through, won't be able to sit there long enough. But his saving grace is that his team still has the lead. So he'll be able to come off respawn and get a 4v4 fight with his squad. Detox, if he has any more Torquebows left, now is the time to go big with him.
And you also know the refresh will be coming in, right? So Detox actually might have already got the refresh. I don't know, but he's not connecting, so he's not getting the value. It's a scary thing when you're trying to fight for your own home hill and you're consistently getting destroyed. This is going to be a huge break in this moment, though. If PK falls here, Elevate should take the round, but the same thing. If Elevate falls, PK is going to win Training Grounds 5-3 and be up 1-0. And like you said, Sumuns gets the huge flanks. Detox is last up and wrap it up. PK taking map number 1, Training Grounds over Elevate, 5-3.
Woo-wee, 4 rounds in a row. PK says, all right, we're not playing around no more. Let's lock this one up. Good job to them. Good discipline, too, for Raver as well. He was sitting on heaven most of that round, keeping Detox's head down at Overlook, allowing his teammates to get a clean 3v3 fight on top of the home hill. And I think that was super important for PK to close out that round.
All right, we're going to take a little break, guys. That action was intense. It's only going to get better. We're heading into a map for Elevate, and I think they're going to fare a lot better and maybe tie it up, send us to a game 3. But a lot of stories still to be told. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Gears Pro League Day 5. We just witnessed map number 1. It looked like Elevate was having that early lead, and I'm not going to lie, Blaze, like you mentioned, we were looking like big brain casters, brother. They were coming out of the best map from Pittsburgh Knights, and it was looking like we were going to be right. But second half, absolutely flawless. PK did not bat an eyelash. They were just aggressive. They applied the pressure where they needed to. Dezo went absolutely ballistic. Finished off 23-14 in the stat line, and that just comes to show you, right? Top 4 in overall KDA, or top 4 at what we only have 5 of. Micey was the only outlier from Rise to kind of break up the PK boys. But 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 was all locked in from PK, and it seems as if they're making good on that, playing against a much harder team, in my opinion, than what they played in the past. They did a good job. Like, I can't take anything away from them.
No, you can't take anything away from them at all. They fought hard against PK, and I think they came in with a damn good game plan too as well, Taylor. They knew that they could not outmuscle this PK roster. We saw their stats before we kicked this series off, and 4 of all the entire team in the top 5 for KDA. So it just shows how well PK is playing. So Elevate says, you know what, we got to work smarter, not harder. You know, make sure that we take our team fights with numbers. We wait for each other to respawn if we have time to, and just try to out-rotate the Knights. And, you know, they won 3 rounds in a row. I think that it could have went to round 9, but it didn't. In the end, Elevate, you know, they got this series off to a great start, and they showed PK that they are here to play.
Absolutely, and that gives them, you know, the momentum again to win 3 straight rounds like that. I mean, it was just 4 straight rounds actually. It was just incredibly impressive. Asylum's coming up next. Elevate ended up picking that. I think they're going to fare a lot better on Asylum as opposed to TG. Without question, PK is one of the best training grounds rosters out there, and you know, even for Elevate to take 3 maps, it's pretty impressive. Of course, though, I expect a lot more from them. But it is without, you know, I don't really need to say it, but I'm going to say it. PK absolutely, like slaying category stat-wise, KDA across the board, there was no comparison to Elevate, without question. Once second half started, even that round number 1 that ended like within 30 seconds, like PK, when they get those guns hot, they are hot and they slay out, and Elevate can't keep up. So that's going to be a big thing going into the second half of Asylum. That streets fight. PK, if they decide to, you know, just impinge their will, just push in onto Elevate, I have confidence they could win pretty much any fight that they get engaged on.
Hey, they definitely can. They definitely can. Once PK gets that first blood, it's so impressive the speed in which they try to acquire the rest of these kills to play for that trip cap domination, to keep their opponent staggered off the respawn. And we're going to see plenty of those moments here on Asylum. And especially, as you said, on the second half, when that neutral hill gets moved up to the top portion of the map at entrance. Yeah, we'll see it on both halves, because I think it's the same distance, the home hills on each side of the map. Some maps, the home hills are a little bit closer. For example, Harbor is one of those maps when the home hills are down low. Now, Elevate, they showed a lot of discipline in the previous map. All right, not staggering their respawns, not giving PK favorable fights, not feeling the pressure after PK won some of these initials, and they were able to hold their ground and find some more high percentage engagements to get into. So I think with Asylum being their best map, we're going to see them have a lot more discipline here. We're going to see them take their time, and if they can do that, they can force the map 3.
And they're going to have to force the map 3. This is a must win, without question. You Elevate fans out there, they lose this, PK, GG. They're going to take this series 2-0 and absolutely be one of the most dominant teams, I would say just below that of Hive, right, respectively, because Hive is undefeated. If Hive loses today, things are definitely going to be interesting up there in the standings. But course, I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. Let's get it going on Asylum here. We're going to have player 1 and 2, Dezo and Sumuns, challenging players 6 and 8, Demise and Shock for the tracks fight. Meanwhile, on the outside of Pavilion, you're going to have Raver just on the other side of Shock. And then on the top streets fight, it's going to be very hard for Elevate, right? I mean, they're going to have Monkyz, who's going to be on the opposite end of our man Demise. And I'm not going to lie, in that 1v1, I got to favor Monkyz. His stat line is insane, but the tracks fight is going down, and it looks like Elevate is coming out ahead.
Yeah, Detox gets first blood, but he needs to be careful. Couldn't find cover in that corner. Sumuns is going to get focused here by Elevate. He's going to go down, so at least Elevate able to trade out that kill. Sumuns could get revived if Monkyz takes that route, but you see that he's getting pressured as well, so Sumuns had to take his own life there. Elevate is going to be on PK's side of the map. Decap in the home hill currently. Trip cap domination being threatened, but you're going to see Demise disengage. Get back with his teammates that does not want to do too much in this moment because they have won the initial. Now they want to get set up and let PK play into their hands.
And you mentioned that discipline from Elevate. We just witnessed a bit of that, right? Demise could have stuck that. He knew that he was going to be challenged by Dezo, but at that point it was still 1v1. But ultimately, what was it really going to gain for Elevate, right? Elevate is stronger in numbers. They're stronger whenever they play for each other, and Demise understands this, and he gives up that individual stat line to go for the overall team stat line. So well done. That's going to net Elevate a tremendous lead as PK once again looking to push back on to Bravo. Monkyz, though, still, he's going to be down low, and from his positioning, he could go on that flank, but it's going to be hard to get through Shock, and he's also getting lancered out. So at this point in time, pretty much, it's almost a 3v4 for in favor of Elevate. Make that now what a 4v2.
Uh-oh. Players, they have to move forward for PK to get a decap on one of these hills, and they will find a decap at B as home hills are currently getting capped to Elevate. Player 4, Monkyz trapped between two. He chooses to go high. He got the initial down on player 6, so with that down coming
Elevate,
through,
you can't let this go.
Monkyz put himself in a striking position. They got Shock running, and Shock knows that he does not want to get caught between multiple players at PK, so he puts his back towards PK's spawn, and I like the awareness here from Shock, but did he buy his team enough time? He did. But for how long?
I think they got it. Yeah, they got it. Demise and D. That hurts. That hurts tremendously. Elevate did everything right up until the point that PK decided to push tracks. And when they pushed tracks, they got serious about it. They got the finishes. And I was criticizing Monkyz being down low, under streets. But you know what? It seemed to work out because then he was able to go through and engage onto Charlie, help his teammates who were pushing through entrance and streets. So very well done on Pittsburgh Knights to take that route. But again, Elevate losing in that moment, that hurts, and it's probably got them second guessing. Can we really take this map?
Well, they knew it wasn't going to be easy, and it's going to be rounds like that in this series. You have to be prepared, especially going against a squad like the Pittsburgh Knights. Monkyz was the playmaker, most definitely, Taylor, in that previous round. He was able to distract those two players long enough for his teammates to get in and get those downs. Sometimes you just got to fluster your opponent and put yourself in a power position on the map. Big Botox plays being made here out of Sumuns with that opening kill coming through. It's an easy 2v1. Well, make it an easy 3v2 technically for the Pittsburgh Knights. And now they get to head on over towards the home hill. It's going to all be up to Demise to extend this round. But as you see, he's getting crossed out. Not much you can do there.
And now PK's in a great position to lock this in. They're going to be able to lancer out Detox. He's going to fall Shock now. He's going to be pushing in. Player H is going to try and challenge player 2, but it's worthless, right? Because Shock, he's going to fall at the 1 yard line. Maybe if we see player 2 kind of come through and help him out, get that break on the home hill, it could have been more beneficial. But 47 seconds, Pittsburgh Knights now really starting to feel themselves, and Elevate, again, losing that round 1, I think it hurt them quite a bit to be that close to victory only to let it slip. It's just, you got to pull it in. You got to bring it back in, let it go, short-term memory.
Yeah, now is the time for them to regain, all right? They cannot let PK run away with this one. As I said before, man, you're going to lose some of those close rounds against them. But so far, they've done a good job just slowing off the initial. It's just at that time, Detox had a bad misroll on tracks. He took a lot of damage from the Botox, and it just shows how one kill PK can snowball that into capping all 3 hills and getting that domination, as we talked about a little bit before we came into the series. Now, to kick this round off, Taylor, it's a slow one. All right.
It is, yeah.
Voltok players trying to put out some damage, and each of these squads trying to find one player on the opposing team to kind of focus and cross out.
But to be honest, I like the setup from Pittsburgh Knights. I really do, because they've got that player in Pavilion. They're not going to force Shock out, who is really the only guy to kind of challenge Dezo. Shock is going to fall. B is going to start being captured. Player 2 can't push him because he's also got player 8 who's going to Lancer him, right? So at this point in time, great job from Elevate to get that break, despite PK being set up, but they're going to lose it just as quickly as they gain it, because Sumuns was able to win that fight over onto Detox. And now PK, business as usual, Blaze. They're pushing in and going in for a domination.
Man, the way that PK is able to help each other out in these fights, you know, some of these engagements, it looks like they're getting into 1v1s, but, you know, as soon as the fight breaks out, you quickly realize that there is another teammate of PK looking that direction, or somebody flying in to save the day. So great teamwork right there in Team Fire from PK. That was what won them that round for me. And hey, they're off to a 3-0 start. Elevate, they got to get something rolling here. They've been getting picked off. It feels like to me that, you know, they're a little bit too defensive at the start of some of these rounds.
Absolutely.
And PK can feel that, right? They can feel how they're playing. They can feel Elevate giving up some map control to them and not want to contest them at that 50-yard line point of the map. And, you know, PK is like, hey, man, you give us an inch, we'll take a mile from you. And that's so far what we've been seeing off the start of these rounds. So let's see if Elevate can regain control here and set the pace before it's completely out of reach.
We're going to find out. Look, they want the smoke, and they're going to get it. That Torquebone Pavilion is going to force an engagement off the rip, but my biggest worry, again, is Pittsburgh Knights have been slaying out, and even now you can tell, look at how far they're already pushed up. Dezo wants to cut through, and I'm curious about Demise being up top. I know he's using that position to Lancer out, but he's going to be challenged by Monkyz, and that is not a guy that you want to consistently be going against. Either way, Detox is going to be down to Pavilion. Dezo's going to get the cleanup. Torquebo is basically free now for PK to take, and I think this round is about to be over already. Monkyz is down to 1v2. He's going to clutch up. That's curtains, man. It's PK's up 4-0. There's no way they blow this lead.
Yeah, no way in hell did they blow this lead. And, you know, you see how PK gets the first kill, and then they chain that into a domination, right? Super quick rounds happening. And, you know, so far, they've been picking off Detox mid-map. I want to say the last 2 to 3 rounds, the last round before this one was Shock, but 2 of the last 3 rounds, it was Detox that got first blooded. And from there, man, PK just ran away with it. So he's going to have to figure out not to be the focus of attention mid-map. But as we see, a power weapon is down here. And we'll see what type of influence this Torquebo is going to have, as well as the nades up top. Because this is going to force the fight to start a little bit quicker. We may even see some big 3-man engagements here. And hopefully with the team fight happening the way that it's gonna, Elevate can, you know, get an advantage in numbers and pull away with this round.
And Elevated Chat already dropped the F, man, and I'm about to drop the F for our predictions to start off week number 3, man. Day 5. And you know, it is what it is, though. Again, coming into it, Pittsburgh Knights, I knew this was, well, I thought it was a 50-50. It's kind of like an 80-20 at this point in time, but Pittsburgh Knights is just looking unstoppable. They truly are, and again, getting that record up to 4-1 has really put themselves in, I think, in a good mentality overall. And you know, they're a deadly bunch. When they start feeling themselves, they get that confidence. They are so hard to shut down. Dezo, great connection onto Tidy onto tracks, and despite that initial, Elevate will take the 2-1 hill advantage and have a minor lead. But I think they're going against, I know for sure they're going against the Torquebo. The frag, I do believe, was already used at this point in time, so the frag won't have an effect on getting the break onto E. But hey, maybe it could be a start. We have seen PK blow 4-0 leads before. Will it be the case here? Probably unlikely, but if Elevate can at least take 1 round, I'll be happy.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the Elevate fans would be happy as well. So far, it's been 8 straight rounds for the Pittsburgh Knights, and Elevate has not found anything to really slow the Knights down from setting the pace early on in these rounds. And when they get power weapon control too as well, the Knights are hard to stop. They are very patient with holding as many of those shots as they can, but big moments when you see 3 players rushing his hill, their opponents using all their nades off the respawn. You stop a team right after they throw their flashes, they're gonna feel helpless, knowing that they have no more utility to try to even contest the hill, and they just have to use bronze and use shotguns and rush into some fights in which they don't like too much.
Looking at Demise going on the flank, he is going to be spotted by Dezo, but he could potentially open up some. I don't know if maybe not. He's just going to go ahead and back off. Dezo applied that pressure. I was like, maybe he could do something here, but you got 2 players down low. That is not where you want to be unless you can break out from it. The battle for, I guess, the fresh torque bow is going to be underway. Demise now is going to be peppered up. PK, they're going to lose Sumuns for a little bit, but Dezo will get the pickup here. And Elevate, they're going to be pushing in 3 strong. They want E. They want to retake it for themselves, keep that point lead. They don't want to give PK an inch because they know they'll take a mile. The decap still isn't in just yet. Finally, it comes through. Shock is sticking it. You mentioned the nades. Shock needs to get out of there. Is he going to be able to? Well, the nade's already been thrown. Someone's going to be connected. Raver's going to pick up the torque bow, but Elevate wins the fight on the E. They're now pushing in. Monkyz is going to fall, and I think they've finally done it. They're finally, maybe, Raver's going to be on the flank to get the 2-1 again, but D's going to be broken. It's not over till it's over, Blaze. That's what I'm saying. PK has found a way to always take these rounds.
The frag grenade knocked Raver off the hill to reposition him so Elevate can try to get a cross out on him, but Raver made big plays. Because he overextended towards this portion of the map, and he is alive as long as he is currently, he is keeping his team in this round, and he brought enough time for Dezo to approach on the flank. They're going to be able to pick up a kill, but it comes down to the E hill. And it's getting pressed from 2 different sides. That's a big first chunk. But in the end, Elevate, they get their first round.
My heart, man. My heart literally cannot take this point. We're just getting started in Pro League, but it seems as if both teams are really going for it now. PK still has a dominant lead. Look at Dezo, 12-3. He's been playing phenomenally, whether it be in map number 1 on Training Grounds. He finished 23-14, and he looks like he's going to have the top stats, at least for Asylum now, map number 2. But it's a chaotic map without question. You don't typically see this too often, but Elevate, they've kind of thrown a Hail Mary in multiple ways. They place the Torque Ball Pavilion, they place the frags up top. They're just trying to break the fight as much as possible. In a way, they're in panic mode, right? So now they're finally just now able to catch up, but they don't have that shock. And that shock is going to be my biggest worry for fighting for entrance. It's going to be a nuisance to get through that. And PK has that in their hands. If they utilize that correctly, Blaze, it's going to be so hard for Elevate. Number one to get the frag or to get on E.
But that's the thing is that Elevate should be able to get free frags based off how this map is split. With PK sitting 2 players down low to defend Bow, they're sitting a player back to get the shot grenade. Okay, if you don't pick up talent, you can get 2 players up top and E right away to get the nades and back up. And so that's the trade-off of not having a shot. You get frag grenades instead based off the initials both these squads are running. You see Demise. He's going to be able to get a counter nade up there to keep this hill neutral. And at this point, it's pretty much a 1v1. Unless he wants to get this nade tossed deep to guarantee himself a kill. Yes, he will. Beautiful usage of that.
It takes that. Monkyz, though, will have that torque bow once again. Now, PK has been consistently getting their hands on that torque bow, but they don't fully capture. Okay, finally they will. Monkyz will go ahead and send out, get that splash damage on entrance, but now you got a 3-stack for Elevate on E, and PK's got to be creative with the way that they do end up breaking this. That splash damage from the torque is going to be hugely beneficial because 7 and 9, they're going to stick where they are. They can back up, but they're going to be within chunk range as soon as the torque does connect. PK's going to take their time, but they do have time, and they have utility. Let's see how this break goes.
All right, 3 bows left. Monkyz is going to get some splash damage off the first one. The team fire comes through, guarantees it down, and that's going to guarantee a kill. Last bow being revved. Going to try to put it on the stairs, catch 1 player on the exit, but Demise takes a creative route, won't keep him alive. The rest of the members of Elevate are going to scurry away. They will decap the home hill of PK, so that's going to keep him in this round a bit. Buy time for the rest of the members of Elevate to come off respawn. But so far, this map is kind of chaotic how it's set. Player 8 being tight, he's making some big plays on the track, being able to pick up a kill there. He's going to get help from a teammate soon. But now Elevate with a man advantage for a few seconds. They need to set themselves up for success. And with the route that Elevate takes through mid-map, they get the cross. So they turn this up top fight that quickly into a 3v2, which will allow Elevate to push up, get the decap at E, and keep the lead.
And I don't believe Monkyz has any more bolts to the torque bow, so he shouldn't be able to use that. I could stand corrected, but Elevate's not going to wait. They're going to pressure up. This is the first time we've seen them get this aggressive as of yet, but the shock has been thrown, and it's going to be all over E, so they're going to go ahead and back up. Excuse me, it was utility, my bad. There's the shock finally coming through, so they saved it just a little bit. That's going to allow PK to get the break, but as you said, the nades, they get away with those. They're already being used. Demise going to pick up Sumuns. E still in the hands of Elevate. The round should be here unless Monkyz can do something crazy on the flank. You see him on tracks. He's forced to back up. This absolutely should be an Elevate round, but Raver's winning his fight, but finally shut down.
Yeah, shut down indeed. It's only one member on the map here for PK, and that's going to be Monkyz. The success of this round for Elevate, especially towards the mid portion, kicked off the back of Tidy, because he was able to overextend, get the decap on his opponent's home hill, pick up a kill as he was rotating back as well from there. With that extra man advantage, Elevate, they got aggressive, they locked in entrance, and they had a well-timed team fight to be able to get the nades and lock in that round. So I think that if Tidy dies, they're on tracks. You do not get the Lancer fire from Pavilion to help with the winning of the fight at top entrance. So good job to Tidy there in that previous round. Elevate has 2 in a row, but this is still a tall task for them. But absolutely. I will say this, that the way that they put the nades up top and they did the weapon placements is actually working out for them. They're going to have incendiary grenades this round, but if PK chooses to pick up the shot grenade in the beginning of the round, Elevate should be able to quick pick the frag grenades and neutralize that fight and get themselves towards the mid-round.
So the instants are absolutely going to help. Of course, they can help Pittsburgh Knights just as much. The shock is going to be thrown out a little bit early, I believe. Well, excuse me, Monkyz has it in his inventory. As far as the nades go, oh, Demise, look at that push. He's going to go in and back up. His teammates should be able to get those nades.
He didn't run too far, too.
Oh, he ran too far. Okay, so
no. He ran just far enough. If he went even further, Monkyz would have hunted him down, but he's going to dodge the shot grenade, hold his position, and get frag grenades for his team, Taylor. That was a big play from Demise.
But the torque bow does go to the other side. Someone's going to have that for his inventory, and that's going to be absolutely useful. Detox, though, will take down Sumuns. This is huge. So Sumuns falls. Torque bow now is going to be out of the way. No one's going to be able to have it, as Viet and Elevate now is set up too strong to take over E. And also the nades, too, are going to be picked up from Demise. Elevate has put themselves in a great spot to take a decent lead.
All right. Now, Elevate, they're in a beautiful position, and with Detox picking up that kill, that's going to give Elevate a man position, and he did get the power weapon, Taylor. So he has 5 shots of that torque bow in his back pocket. He's going to rotate it up top entrance. Tidy is going to shift down low. He's going to play his position on the tracks, a position in which he is very familiar with. He loves that area of the map. Now, let's see, how does Elevate want to be a nuisance here and defend his hill? We talked about before how you want to hold as many of those bows as long as you can, and you want to wait for big pushes from your teammates. You know, start revving up right after your opponent throws their flash grenades away, and Detox with a well-placed torque bow down. Him and Demise able to work together and guarantee themselves a kill on Raver. So far, man, Elevate, they're set up to win this round. They have frag grenades too as well. They're in the hands of Demise. PK, if they close the map out here, they deserve this. They deserve this.
I'm gonna be shocked, I'll be honest with you, but they've done it before. Nades are gonna be thrown, Monkyz is gonna fall, one's still gonna be an entrance, utility's gonna be thrown out. This should be an easy 2v1, and it will be. Sumuns is last up. He's been on the flank. He's full red, back train, front train, and yeah, Tidy's going to collapse, and that's going to be a round for Elevate. Well done. They brought it up until this point, 4-3, and it seems as if Elevate's starting to get the hang of this. The chaos of the map, the torque bow, as well as the frags. As you mentioned, PK, right? They've been prioritizing the shock. That's been putting them a step behind. And Elevate is using that time, that little bit of time, to push up and get kills, and more importantly, get those frags and get out. Even if they give up torque bow, they feel confident in having those frags alone. Very well done. But now, is this the moment where PK comes out with their disable to get rid of something?
We saw a similar initial in the last round. I'm happy that we see a counter to shot grenades on Asylum. And actually, I'm not surprised Elevate is the roster to do it, especially with the amount of, especially with how good they are on this map. Now, PK, they're going to come out with these blocks, and that's something that they have to do. You got to respect the fight at nades up top, and so far it's been breaking out as a 1v1 with Elevate knowing that they cannot give up the middle lane of Pavilion because they'll leave it wide open for their teammates to get flanked down low. Now, you could set up a trap send to up top and set the trap up for the Torque Bolt pickup. And you'll have two Lancers being able to fire down from up top, some players down low to be able to get a different angle and get the pinch if you choose to. We're going to see the first blood come in from Raver, and now Elevate, they've got to make a move. They cannot sit in their positions. If so, they would get crossed out.
And that's a great elimination for Raver because if you witness that, Demise went through, he got into entrance, he took the frags up, but then Raver timed it appropriately to be able to push him back and get rid of those nades. But you see this push on tracks, and it looks like F is in fact going to be broken, but Shock gets a bit too hungry. Raver will silence him. Monkyz now is going to be challenged by Tidy, but Tidy's got to get out of here. There's nowhere he can go. The front train is going to be there.
Oh, he's going to
put him down. But
Tidy doesn't get cleaned up.
Wait, where's Tidy? He's still up? No, finally gets taken down,
he's
man.
finally going to go.
That would have been crazy.
Shock needed that type of appetite. He may have been on a lot, went on for more than he can chew, but he needed a big appetite in that position because he was on his opponent's side of the map. Torque Bow's revving. He had to make plays. He had to push him back for his teammates to get in this position in which they currently are. And now they should be able to get the capture. Smokes are out. They're staying alive. I don't see the Torque Bolt anywhere on the map or the frag grenades on the side of PK, so Elevate should be able to hold this position.
And the instants were also disabled, right? So PK's not going to have that in their inventory. They do have a shock, but the shock hasn't responded just yet. But that would have been a great shock with all three members from Elevate were in that corner. But you win some, you lose some. Sumuns is going to get taken down from shock, and it looks like one went onto the flank, I thought, but it looks like the battle is still very well underway. The scoreline's so close. Shock, though, he's going to be taken down, and it looks like PK might be making a break for it, but it seems as if Demise will take down Dezo. Elevate now is going to get their hands onto E. They're still 3 strong, 3v2 up ahead. A third one is going to be joining from PK, but is it going to be enough? It will not. Elevate will get the break and the full cap on E, but PK is there for the pushback.
Demise played that well from the target selection to reviving his teammates. Tidy came into the mix. The Lancers are out. The Talon is in the mix as well. Elevate, sling out, trying to get us to the round 9. That's 4 members down on the side of PK, and you're going to see Detox in the entire squad, straight line towards the home hill. They're going to try to double capture this one for the win. That's all they want to allocate to this. They don't want to put 3 into the hill, but they're not even going to go for it. They say, guys, one more team fight. Get the Torque Bolt. Get the nades. I like the play.
Dezo picks up the shock, but this is going to be it. This is like the final push, the last stand of the Alamo, and we'll see if it works out. But Tidy already connects on the Sumuns and wrap it up. Elevate is going to send it to a round 9. And man, I now curse the fact that I said, when PK was up 4-0 that they have blown leads like this before.
I was gonna wait to the end of the round to bring that one up, but you did call it. At the end of the day, man, Taylor, we both voted for Elevate to come out on top with the series. Everyone else voted for PK, and rightfully so, right? But it was something that we saw in Elevate over these last few weeks that made us believe that they can come out on top victorious. And regardless of who wins, PK could win it right now. I still think we made great picks in choosing Elevate for this series.
Okay. Mark's well, I don't want to. Hey, Blaze, I 100% agree with you, but I don't want to get too carried away just yet because it's still round 9. All right, and as smart as we want to be, Pittsburgh Knights can take this last round and still win 2-0. It's absolutely in their wheelhouse, but no disables come out. PK uses it to put that Mark's down low, so this fight is going to be interesting. You got 3 midline plays. When the shock is out, and PK for the first time is in fact going to use that shock early on, get the nades, and looks to capture E. Actually, the pressure is there. Raver is going to be up, and he's going to get chunked. And Demise will get the trade, but that's a huge trade.
Worth in a 1v1 position. That was beautiful usage, but I think it's one nade on the ground. He's looking for it. He is going to get it. The Torque Bolt is going to miss. Shock stays alive. He's trying to make a play happen, but he will go down. But I think to kind of, would it be in a tie game to trade off the usage of the nades? Big plays for Demise, but great usage for Raver to use the shot grenade to get the frag grenade. That's something that should have happened the previous rounds.
Great dodge of the Ensign. PK is going to take the early lead. Detox with the Torque, though, that's going to be hugely beneficial to pressuring up onto E if they decide to do so, which of course they will. They're just going to take their time, allow PK to accumulate a minor lead for the time being. But this is going to be a big push. If PK can hold on to this, they're going to net themselves, about a 60 or 70 point lead. So this is a must win. Nobody's going to be an entrance. Detox is going to clear that out. That is a huge kill, though, for Monkyz to take down Demise like that. And Monkyz is a deadly Marksa player. PK putting down that Marksa on tracks was just, honestly, it was great. Even though it may seem a bit crazy, not worth. In Monkyz' hands, it is. Great two-piece. Dezo, Monkyz will fall. Sumuns is the last one to stand.
Whoa, that was a big-time bow and incendiary grenade for Elevate to get up and get this E-Hill decap. So far, that's going to be 3 kills acquired. Do they want to end it now? Multiple members of PK are alive, and Elevate knows that they got to back up, right? One key to their success so far in this series is their patience. So they're going to double back, slowly place up these lines of defense. Don't want to give up too much of the map. Demise gets a big kill. That's going to keep the line of defense pressed up just a little bit past this neutral hill. Elevate, they're sitting right where they want to be. They have the win condition, a few bows in their back pocket, and incendiary grenade. And these new frag grenades have to be coming up soon. The shot grenade to get the frags was the play, but the flame is too far back.
He missed. And this could be a huge two-piece for Monkyz. Now, again, he's going to be pressured up, and he goes down. That shoot, the nades are going to be on the ground. He wasn't able to back up.
No, he needs shield, so they go in his back pocket.
No, the nades are there. Two-piece. Summons to Dezo end up falling, and now D is going to be right in their line of sights. Elevate has put themselves in a winning position. The fight is going to go their way. Elevate has done it. Ladies and gentlemen, Elevate will take this map. Pittsburgh Knights, I do not foresee coming in and getting a triple cap. It's possible, but that is what they needed to do. So, no, they're not assholes. They're smart assholes, okay?
Yo, they're right? But that's how you do it, though. You got to back up. Because when you back up like that, it's like you have no chance of winning this map. What a fantastic 5 rounds there for Elevate. But we have to call out Demise, Detox. Twice in that round, they straight lined the player that picked up nades. Detox, because he got the meat shield in that situation, he automatically acquires the nades in his back pocket. He gets a 3-piece to lock in the round, and Elevate forces the map 3.
I am blown away. I mean, seriously, genuinely blown away for Elevate to win 5 straight rounds like that. Again, I curse the fact, and I'm so sorry, PK fans out there and Pittsburgh Knights too. I know you guys out there in chat. For me to say, man, PK's been known to blow 4-0 leads before. Well, they just blew the 4-0 lead. I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut in the future, okay? I do sincerely apologize.
I want you to talk all this series, though. Keep talking. Keep talking that talk, Taylor.
Well, you know what? We do have vested interest for Elevate to make that comeback, do we not? Now the question is, we're going into Harbor, map number 3, and I think it's an even playing field. But more importantly, Blaze, I got to bring up what I always say, and I think any caster would say in this situation. How bad does that 4-0 lead being blown from PK affect them heading into map 3?
Oh, it affects them massively because PK won 8 rounds in a row, right? They were in a winning position to win that 9th round, lock in another win, and get out of here. But round after round, the momentum was slowly getting pulled away there by Elevate. And now PK, our Lions, tucked away in their cave, man. Okay, looking for the pride to come help them, okay? They need y'all to turn up for them in chat just a bit louder because PK needs all that energy. I think Elevate has the momentum going into map number 3. I think Harbor does favor PK just a little bit because when I think Harbor, I think about the fight at Winch, and I know how talented Raver, Monkyz, Sumuns are in that position there. And so it's going to be a tough one, but coming off 5 wins in a row, Elevate can definitely do this.
I was looking at chat when Detox popped off. They're still watching it. And I saw Ryan. Chat's right now just going ballistic. I saw Ryan and he goes, Detox is a grown man. I love this CA. But honestly, though, just well played. That was phenomenal teamwork, and that's something I pride in Elevate. Across the board, are their stats as impressive as Pittsburgh Knights? No, they're not. Okay, they're really not. But I think teamwork-wise, maturity and their ability to stay composed, to back up like they did when they were up, to back up what it was 220 and counting. They could have went for the domination plays, but they backed up. That shows maturity to me, right? And I think that was just a great play overall. And it comes to show they have a lot of strategy in their wheelhouse and different things that they can pull out. The fact that they placed frags and interest, the torque bow over in Pavilion, like it spread the map as they needed to. That was something that was drastically needed in the first half. But they just played that to a T. Well done. They take map 2. We head into Harbor, and I'm blown away by this series, genuinely. At this point, I got what I wanted. Do I want to see Elevate win? Of course. It's our prediction plays. But at this point, I am so enthralled by PK and Elevate that whoever wins map number 3, like, I'm just glad to have watched an Asylum map like that.
Man, these first 2 maps have been an absolute joy as far as the competition goes. I'm happy that we got a damn good series on our hands, Taylor.
100%.
And now we have to move on over towards Harbor. So if for the Elevate fans out there, all right, now what am I concerned about Elevate going into this map? I'm worried about those initials once again, because on a map like Harbor, you can't really you can be patient off the initial if you want to kind of play for the cross and set up a trap at winch for your opponent, and be a little bit more passive. But as soon as your opponent gets that winch control, most likely the stern control follows right after it. So you have to be competitive there. And so it's going to come down to Detox and I do believe maybe Demise in that position as well to challenge those players that PK at the winch. Whoever wins that fight the most times should come out on top victorious of this map, but we'll see how it breaks down. Elevate, they're playing very well as a team. We saw the discipline over the first 2 maps, the composure as well, and we got to count that's going to roll on over towards this map. Now, on the flipping of 4 PK, you were looking good. You were on cloud 9. You're about to win this series, make your fans happy, and be offline for the rest of the day. Go do some scrims, some wages, whatever you want to do. Prepare for tomorrow. But now you're locked in a map number 3. You just got embarrassed over 5 rounds on Asylum. How are you going to bounce back? Usually PK, they bounce back with the fangs out. All right. I think Raver is going to have to be the playmaker here for them to really lock this map number 3 in for them.
So I was going back in my notes and I was wanting to see, Elevate's Harbor performance, Pittsburgh Knights Harbor performance. And, the last time we had a chance to watch Pittsburgh Knights play in Harbor was versus Noble. And I think we actually casted that. It was a beatdown 5-1 victory. PK's initials were just unmatched. And that's something that Elevate has to keep in the back of their mind. I think much so than they had to on training grounds, much so than they had to, on Asylum. Because the reality is, as you mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, when it comes to Harbor, those home hills are very close together. So if you get a dominant initial, now you're looking at a home-to-home hill stretch. You got the 2-to-1 hill advantage. The neutral may be locked in from the other team, but it's now you got to fight for your own home hill. It's going to put you behind. You're going to reallocate numbers over to neutral and take it over. So PK's initials, Elevate has to deal with those. Now, we have witnessed Elevate play on Harbor. Last time was versus Remedy. They were able to win that 5-1 as well, and they looked solid. But then again, Remedy, PK, different opponents, okay? Much different opponents, different strengths as well. So again, Pittsburgh Knights, their victory is going to be a strong initial, go headfirst into Elevate, take them down. They have the slaying power. They've made that very apparent, even in those 4 rounds on Asylum and on training grounds. But Elevate has to find a way. I don't think they can go head-to-head in the slaying department with PK. I really don't. I don't care what anyone says. So they got to find a way to bait them in, lancer them out, teamwork, and take them down one by one. That's how they win Harbor here.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to need to do to pull away with this map, because PK, man, I don't think they're going to fold over that easily. Yeah, they lost 5 rounds in a row, but they had the 1 map lead. Map number 3 is a fresh new map for them, and you got to go into it with that mindset. One thing is about Harbor is that we're starting to see consistently the long shot get placed on this map. And a big reason for that is because as soon as you win that neutral fight at Stern, and it really doesn't matter what half you're in, if it's the first half or the second half, because in the first half, the team that wins the Stern fight, they have a clear sight line on top of their opponent's home hill on that secondary platform. They have the long shot, and it's an easy rotation. It's a quick rotation for majority of the members. But on the second half, in that 1v1 at the home hill, you get all the long range fire coming over from the top Stern and the winch and that 1v1 player to assist his battle to be able to get that home hill. And I think we're going to see a lot of trip cap dominations on this map. It could be a quick one. Even if we go nine rounds, it could be quicker than we saw Asylum play out. But
Absolutely.
Regardless, the victor, the guy who comes out victorious, the squad that comes out victorious on this map is going to be indicative of who wins that winch fight the majority of the time.
Winch fight is huge, right? On both halves, even more so on the second half, right? Because you're fighting for it. You know, I'm going to be focused on another thing, right? We already know the 3v3 is going to take place on winch. It's just it happens, right? That's just the biggest fight. But I'm interested in those big 1v1s that take place on the neutral, right? That's going to be that for me is going to be very telling, because PK, again, off their initials in the 3v3, I think they're going to do just fine. Elevate, they're going to have to play very hard in order to outslay them. But that 1v1 though can keep Elevate alive if PK has a dominant initial. But if that 1v1 player, if he ends up losing it for Elevate and gives it over to PK, like you mentioned, we could be having some very, very quick rounds come into play. Those initials, again, they are literally going to be everything. Elevate, in my opinion, they're going to have to play this very, very cautiously, but in a smart way. Because like you mentioned, Blaze, PK, they're not going to fold. They've been here before. They're going to stay composed, and they're going to bring that composure into this matchup.
They are, man. You know, one thing for PK, we saw it already when we kicked off the show, the KDAs, man. If you guys are just joining us, all 4 players of the Pittsburgh Knights are in the top 5 of the KDA. Who's the other person in the KDA at position number 3? That's going to be Red Icy. All right. Yep. Red Icy, he is comfortably sitting there. He's going to have an opportunity tonight against Rated R to boost his stats a little bit more and bump his way up towards the top of those rankings. And, Red Icy, man, he looking like Optic Icy over these past few weeks. Been shooting his shot in and out the game, and he is going to be a force to be reckoned with tonight. But back on over towards this series. So PK, all 4 players in the top 5 of KDAs. Now, on the flip end, Elevate, man, these guys, they may not be, up there at the top of the list in the top 5, but you got to put respect on their name, especially as a squad, as a unit. And all 4 of these players, man, they have been getting better every single season. It was a season of the Pro League in which we didn't have Detox and Shock, right? Sure. After the big rise shuffle up and change that they had, we didn't get a chance to see them a lot. And Tidy and Demise, they just been getting better. So I'm really liking how this Elevate squad is looking. But here we go, folks. Map number 3. Let's see who comes out on top.
Detox, he's going to be at the forefront for Elevate, and dropped off early on. Monkyz and Raver will bully him out. Raver's not going to stop there. Now, that Lancer Fire is going to hurt, but for Tidy, though, he will get the to finish onto Dezo. It's going to help out a little bit, but Shock's going to have to play this carefully. But Raver, great spacing overall. That's going to allow his teammate that's going to allow him to get that additional damage, take him down. And again, that initial from PK, very strong. I mentioned the 1v1. Player 4 for Elevate, Demise, he was in that 1v1 spot. Sumuns was able to handle his business, and that's going to give PK that 2-1 hill advantage. But surprisingly, not the domination. So Elevate will live to fight once again.
All right, so Elevate, they have to put themselves in a position to break one of these 2 hills. Now, typically to break the B hill without getting winch or stern control, it's not a good move because, it's just going to be free crossfire coming down from up top. So Elevate, they have to focus most of their attention on that top portion of the map. But, it's looking like they're going to try to, wait and take off as much time on the clock as possible. Possibly, win this off 1 or 2 team fights, but they're going to have to play it perfectly. And the smokes are going to come out, and Elevate is going to utilize the smoke as best as they possibly can, as you see Demise slowly inching his way up to get some position here on Winch. And now, this is going to even out the map here for Elevate.
Demise still, though, is going to be a tough spot, especially with Monkyz coming into the fold. Honestly, I want to see Demise maybe back up, but he doesn't have to. He's going to take down Raver. And there's going to be 2 players from PK up top, and they know they just lost the neutral, so they're going to go for the OE. They're going to take any advantage that they possibly can. For Elevate, though, they're also going to be on A, and the head is going to be blown off there. For Monkyz will take down Demise. Tidy is also going to fall. Dezo is going to get the cleanup, so that's now 2 down for Elevate. And living over here in the spawn of PK isn't going to be easy by any means, but they have managed to flip the script. They have the win condition, but PK still has the point lead. It's just a matter of how quickly can they retake control of their home hill. They already got the neutral.
Man, man, Detox is in a difficult spot there. Shot goes down quickly as well. So PK, they get their home hill back. And at first I was gonna say, maybe, Detox and Shock, they try to cut back towards, top Stern right away, but they were pretty much trapped on top of that home hill. B will get decap for Tidy. So he's in a 1v2, but he's buying his team time to come off respawn. Look at the score, Taylor. This is a close round. Even though it looked like it was going to be all in favor for PK off the start, Elevate, they caused enough commotion to be within 10 points. But as you see, the deaths are starting to get staggered. Elevate will not be able to get into a clean 4v4 fight before this round ends. They got to make big plays, and PK, they will survive this round.
But I will say, well done from Elevate to keep it as close as they did. They wasted a bit too much time, though, to make their push. But when they did, they were pretty effective in doing so, and they almost flipped the script. But like you mentioned, Pittsburgh Knights did a great job holding on to the steering wheel. And they drove that car all the way to round 1 victory. So well done from them. Raver, though, hell of a start. 7-1, only 1 death. Keep my eye out for him. Dezo's been leading the charge in the previous 2 maps, but Raver might be taking the reins as the dominant slayer early on. Get those Boltox up top, and it looks like Tidy's probably going to answer back with the Boltox up top himself. But for Elevate, what can they improve on? Again, it was very close, but that initial, right, it just went really well for PK, and they took that early lead.
All right, so Boltox are going to go down on a map, and that's going to be a staple because you want to be able to get that long-range potential in your home hill player's hand, whoever's going to be playing that portion of the map. Definitely, so they can kind of have some crossfire there towards Winch. Now, off the break once again, Raver's not going to get contested this round. So Elevate giving him some respect. They're going to choose to put most of their numbers up top towards Stern, and I like that. Don't give Raver the fight that he wants. Slow this round 100%. Down a bit, and set a trap for him. Get some better high percentage team fights.
And that's something that I mentioned right in the talk before the map ended up starting. I don't think going head to head against PK is the wise decision. Allow Elevate to push up and then slowly take them down. Great shots from Demise on the Sumuns. He's going to get the cleanup. He's got another player to deal with, but Raver from the neutral is also going to from the U is going to help out quite a bit in getting that Lancer fire in. But player 1, alas, is going to be able to get that break and full cap overall. The fight, though, for Raver, he gets what he wants finally. He goes against Tidy, takes him down. It's going to hit a nice spread onto Detox, but Raver is going to be peppered. This is a great spot, actually, for Detox, but he's eventually going to fall, and that should open up the door for PK to push in on A, unless Demise can hold his own.
It's going to get slowed down. I think Demise holds his own here. PK is going to try to make the play for B, but great teamwork for Elevate to smoke out Winch, double cap B. Detox, he was right with pushing Raver there on the Winch, but he didn't stay in the fight long enough for Tidy to get there. And PK, they're going to win the second engagement. They lock in a B hill. 3 quick kills being picked up as well. And they're going to move right on over towards the home hill. That was one of those moments where Elevate just had to slow it down a bit if they could. If they can stay in this round, they might have a chance. And that's a big kill coming out for Shot. Can he get the double? Can he get saved at least? He will not be able to, but Elevate. The round's not over yet, and that home hill does not need to be capped, so they can quickly rotate down low, knowing that 2 players are dead and nobody's up top. They can get this B hill and be right back in it, Taylor.
They absolutely can, and if they do that, it's going to be very impressive, right? Not being down 2-0 for Tidy. He just takes it in the kneecap, man. Sumuns just takes him down with the Boltox. And it really can't, because now that's 1 less player on the map. But then again, Monkyz also falls. But B, again, was broken because Tidy ended up falling to the wayside. So now PK, they're going to be pushing up aggressively like they did before. And I'm starting to see a trend here. PK are starting to win critical fights where they need to, and Elevate is not capitalizing in certain moments. And while mid-game to late game, that's where PK really starts to come alive. Elevate has 1 final attempt here. Let's see if they can do it.
All right, now Elevate. At this moment, they got to get a capture and decap on B to win off of 2. It may be a tall task for them at this given time. Once again, a decap does not come. Tidy's trying to get in there. Multiple members of PK are on this side of the map. And with Tidy being slayed out, this round will get locked in for the Pittsburgh Knights. Great effort there from Elevate. But, just PK, they did a better job at defending B. Not having much resources down there. Whichever player it was from their squad that was holding that off, that was holding that hill off as long as he did a great job, especially getting that kill on Tidy with the Boltox.
PK's, that bull talk, like you said, that cannot happen. I think Pittsburgh Knights is doing a much better job at breaking the defensive setups of Elevate. Elevate's kind of all over the map. They have great moments, but when PK starts wolfpacking together, it's just, you're not going to be able to take them all out. And Elevate's consistently seen themselves in 2v1s or 3v2s, just a man down, right? So it just makes their job that much harder to hold in Winch, Stern, or maybe even Doc. But Elevate, this is a big round for them to take. They need to bring it up 1-2 and just overall fill themselves and get back into the game. But it looks like player 4 is actually still going to be in spawn. Don't know if it's a disconnect, but looks okay. So we're going to be taking our time. No one's going to take each other out. We'll just wait for maybe Demise to fix whatever issues going on.
Yeah, both squads going to decap the home hill at the same time, and it's a tie game. All right, left at 26 here. So we are going to lose one player in the lobby. That's going to be Demise, but folks, we'll get this one all set up again and restarted when he's back. So far, man, what a great series we have here. PK looking good in map number 3. Taylor, anything that stand out to you so far?
Again, it's just, their initials have been good. Raver's been playing phenomenally, right? Raver has been the one on Winch to win those big fights. Granted, in round 2, Elevate did not pressure up as hard as they did in round 1. I think round 1, they were kind of, doing the litmus test, right? They just want to kind of see, what is PK really going to do? Can we win that Winch fight? But Raver kind of shut them down very quickly, and Elevate kind of learned from that, took their time. But now we've seen 2 different approaches from Elevate, one aggressive and one passive, and both times it's came down to the mid to late game where Pittsburgh Knights has been doing a much better job again at having that additional player in the fights. I'm looking at consistent 2v1s, like Tidy, for example. He gets bull talked out, but even before that, he was in a 2v1 on Bravo. That can't happen. And I think that's just PK allocating their resources and their numbers appropriately. Great communication. Elevate is struggling to adjust to that because they're getting, in my opinion, they're getting caught up in the fights on Winch. Like, that's where the holdup is at. Like, they're not winning that fight. When they do get into that fight, they're taking their time. Meanwhile, there's already a fight on Bravo taking place. There's an overextension coming through for PK. And then Elevate, once that fight on Winch is done, let's say they even win it, then they're forced to back up and constantly play cat and mouse. PK is just one step ahead objectively and also, defensively and really attacking. They kind of got it all right now. And Elevate is struggling to keep up. That's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, man. When you look back on round number 1, okay, Elevate, they lost the initial and they took their time trying to get back into it. But with PK already having map control, Elevate had a chance at winning that first round. But PK, in the final few moments, they stayed composed, and the lead in which they got in the earlier portions worked out for them very well. Now, as you kind of enter the second round, as you talked about it, Elevate, they switched up their initial. They sent more players up top towards Stern. And they say, you know what, PK, we're not going to give you guys the fight that you want at Winch. We know Raver's feeling himself. He wants to clutch it up for the team. But they choose to play a slower version. And I think that's going to be the key to Elevate success, especially when power weapons start getting placed on the map up top Stern. Yep. Now, as we saw as the round broke out, it was another close round where Elevate had a chance to lock it out, but a few mistakes here and there. PK really making some big plays and some clutch moments is what kept them in the round. So close series so far. PK up 2-0. Let's see if Elevate has some different success over towards the Winch.
And now they're going back to round 1 strategy. They're trying to meet Pittsburgh Knights head first. First victim is going to be Detox. He'll fall to the wayside. Raver, though, Raver and Sumuns, man, they've just been playing so very well, and they're hitting those shots. Again, their teamwork is flawless. And Elevate's going to take a heavy loss off the start, and they're even going to lose that 1v1. And I say 1v1 loosely because, again, they had additional numbers, and they were able to 2v1 player number 4 of Demise and let him bleed out, take him out. So PK, they're going to back off, but only momentarily. They already got what they wanted. They have the 2-1 hill advantage. And again, I'm struggling to see where Elevate can find an edge over PK because PK, they're just playing so well all around.
Yeah, they're playing damn good. Now, Elevate, they don't win the fight up top, but they will be able to pick up a kill mid-map. That kill should not equate to a B-hill capture, but maybe a quick D capture could be in Elevate's favor so this lead doesn't get taken out of hand too much. And with the distraction of that player on Winch, Elevate will be able to actually get the capture there because they were able to keep Monkyz busy on that side of the map. Now Monkyz is like, all right, well, let me get the pinch down low. And with Sumuns getting a big kill, Tidy going down, PK is looking good to go up 3-0 here once again.
And again, that slaying power from Pittsburgh Knights, we are now really seeing that put into effect and application. Top 4 out of the 5, right, in KDA, and you can see that being useful here against Elevate. Elevate may take, maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel. They take the 2-to-1 hill advantage, but then again, PK, as soon as they meet them head on, boom, it is over with. Demise just got back in. I was about to get carried away and say he's 0-0, okay, but he did get a little bit of a restart there. But for everybody else, that scoreboard is looking sad for Elevate. Like, it is looking big sad for Elevate, Blaze. And for PK, it's looking great. But finally, we'll see that Stern fight. But I don't think it helps them. I really don't. They've been losing the winch fight. They've been losing the Stern fight consistently. And I almost feel now they're giving a free power weapon over to Pittsburgh Knights.
I think this helps them. I think it will. I think it will change the pace of the fight. Reason being is, it's going to be a little bit more space to fight at Stern than you would at Winch. Winch, man, you take so much damage quickly from the player that's on the line and the player that's being aggressive around the curve. Stern, you can kind of space this out a little bit. You utilize your Lancer a lot in this situation as well and not give Raver that fight that he won. But even so, we see Elevate sending 2 players around the curve. They even have a Lancer in this fight as well, but Raver with a quick revive
so
gets it down. And that's what I was talking about. Just give him the 4-piece.
Oh my gosh, man, that is just... Raver is too good. I mean, he's 18-6 with 3 deaths. I talked about Dezo on Asylum and Training Grounds, but Raver is really taking the reins here as one of the best players on Harbor. I mean, he is the best player, absolutely. Elevate's going to push them back. And again, this is what Elevate does. Elevate comes back into the game, pushes Pittsburgh Knights back, and they look like they're starting over fresh, only to have Pittsburgh Knights once again shut them down and shut down the hopes and dreams of Elevate making a comeback. It's just going to be so difficult with Raver right there. I mean, you look at him, geez, come on, man. Raver is just so good.
Yeah, he is too damn talented. Too damn talented. Player 4 gets to the B hill. He will be able to get a decap, and so far he's going to be able to dodge a torque bow.
No!
Oh, that was so wow. That was, you actually had to hit the other player, Tidy. Actually, I thought he dodged it. He should have dodged it. He should have had to dodge it, actually.
I knew Blaze was a little lost for words when he goes, man, that was so wow. That was just wow. That is tough. 3 players down. Demise, nowhere he can go. PK, 4-0 lead. I'm not even going to say it this time, though, because I don't think it's going to happen.
Nah, I don't know if it's going to happen this time. If it happens back-to-back.
It's not going to happen. I'm not. But look at 2, 4. Oh, math is hard, man. Was it 11?
I don't know what you was counting.
I'm counting 10. They got 10 kills total. They got 10 kills total for Elevate.
But
I'm not going to stop. Can't stop, won't stop. 10 kills for Elevate.
I didn't have to do math. The game already did it for me. I was going to say Raver had 22 kills and 3 deaths. That's what that was.
Elevate's got 10 kills collectively. That is tough, man.
Man, 20 Raver, bro. I told you guys he was going to have a big map in. Raver has maps where he's in positions for him to shine. I feel like he kind of shares that workload between other members of his team. But in this position, he absolutely owns it. He doesn't slow down when it comes down to contesting at Winch. He's ready for anyone who wants to contest him. He has the entire Elevate squad shook. Detox goes down, and now PK with an advantage of the power weapon.
Par for the course. Bro. Great 2-piece. Shock and Demise will fall. PK's now going to get their way closer to the home hill. Tidy, he's got to get some type of trade, but I mean, you can't expect him to. He's looking at the Wolfpack, the 4 members from PK pressuring up. Blaze, I'm gonna let you do the honors because you already see the writing on the wall, man.
Yes, we do. It was a hard-fought battle for Elevated map number 2 to get back in this series, folks, but PK picks up where they left off. That's going to be 5 rounds in a row. They lock in map number 3 and show they are not to be messed with. And
not to be messed with at all. That right there shows me I'm going with PK any matchup they go against. And the reason why, again, I talked about, they played Team Queso, they played Remedy, they played Oxygen, and I'm like, well, does that really show that PK deserves the top 4 out of the 5 in the KDA? Does it, show that they deserve the record of 4-1? This victory showed me they absolutely do. They handled Elevate with ease, and even though they blew the 4-0 lead on Asylum, they still had the 4-0 lead until they ended up blowing it. They just needed to close it out, but well done from Pittsburgh Knights. They are absolutely one of the best teams in the league currently. Second place, they absolutely deserve it. Hive is just above them, but that can all change after tonight. But Blaze, I am blown away with how well Pittsburgh Knights played. They are looking solid.
No, they're looking really solid indeed. With that dominant performance there on map number 3, they locked this series in. But outside of this series, man, everyone who they've played against, they've been extremely competitive. They've taken the only series that they did not take was against VQ, the defending champions, and they took that to map number 3. That was our week number 1 matchup. And as we know, everybody in the Pro League, they only play each other once. PK looking to possibly have a repeat performance from their record of last season, and I do believe they went 10-1. So with that loss against VQ, the same team that they lost against last season, they're looking to win out against everybody else.
And again, I cannot stress enough how influential Raver was. And you said he had to have a big game, and this was the big game, okay? 22-7. I mean, literally every clip was Raver handling his business on Winch. That's why the initials were going so well. I don't even know if Elevate was able to shut Raver down, maybe they have a chance. But across the board, even going into that round number 5, that eventually obviously PK was able to close it out 5-0. Across the board, only 10 eliminations total for Elevate, where Raver alone was sitting at 22. Can't stress enough how much of an impact he had. Very well done. It was a great series on TG. It was a great series on Asylum. Who knows? TG, when Elevate had that lead, if they close that out and they also win Asylum, potential to have that 2-0 was absolutely there. But once this series extended over, PK took it into their own hands. Can't stress enough again how well PK played. For Elevate, don't hang your heads too low. I think you still played well in certain moments, but you have to start working on that slaying power whenever it comes to those initials, because if you play against like Fire and Ice, right, Pittsburgh Knights, who else? Rebel, who's great off initials too. It's going to be a tough series for you. But overall, great series to start off the day, Blaze. I really can't complain. I wish map number 3 was a bit closer, but it is what it is. We have no saying how it goes. But
the way it was set up,
down
Elevate had to win in 2. The Elevate had to win it in 2 maps. They could have won it in 2. It was set up for them. But, in the end, as we saw, PK was better. And I agree with you. Somebody on that Elevate squad has to say, you know what? I'm going to take this guy every round. If I lose the initial, I'll lose. But I'm going to get a little bit better. And I'm going to make him have to respect us and not push and destroy the entire team the way that Raver did. In the future, I'm looking for Detox to be that guy. If Elevate finds himself in this position again against PK, he has to be the one to say, you know what, guys, I play him at Winch every time. If not that, you got to set a trap for him.
Well, let me say, well done, chat. You get your first W for the day over me and Blaze. Of course, Colin and Jacob, they're not going to be fooled. They went with Pittsburgh Knights. They knew what was happening. But hey,